G'day guys, we are into game 2 of Starcraft School, episode 2. Yes, I know I said that like Julia Gillard. We'll do some negotiating soon as well. For those of you who are overseas and don't know Julia Gillard, she's the leader of Australia. But anyway, and she talks really weird actually. Anyway, enough about politics. We've got game 2, as I said. We are on Metalopolis, one of the most balanced maps, if not the balanced map of the current StarCraft 2 map pool, and we've got both of these guys spawning in close air positions, as you can see, very close to go across here, and Hobocrunch down here at the 6 o'clock in the green again. As we saw in game number 1, Hobo went for a very all-in. It was kind of a combination tech and proxy sort of build there, where he got blink, he got charge, he got +2 weapon, so it was very high tech in that regard. But he's still very much just focused on getting the his military units out, and of course the given the way that the game works, if you're going to focus on military, you're going to suffer in economy a lot. So he did actually, there was the potential there for that to be quite a powerful build, and he could have stomped through. But unfortunately, Calvus actually took the island expansion, which was a very clever maneuver there from Calvus, and was able to supplement his own military with a lot of racks and a lot of Marine Marauder, which eventually just sort of stomped all over Hobo's build. So we're going to see a forge here from Hobo. This looks as if, yeah, it's going to be a looks as if this is going to be a sort of fast expand from Hobo, which will be great to see, because as we saw in the previous game, his economy was just a little, just suffered quite a bit there from that, the very sort of all-in. It's like a tech all-in. I don't really know how to quantify that sort of build, but it was very much high in tech and but low in economy. But he still actually got a lot of things done. But we'll see a cannon go up here, very much like a sort of a fast expand against the Zerg. You do see this sometimes. Sometimes you can see just a straight 15 Nexus from Brotoss against Terran. He has now spotted that Calvus is in this close position here, so we'll see what happens. Calvus putting up a refinery here on the gas. Bit of an interesting decision there. I actually questioned, while I was watching this game, when I was watching it live, I actually questioned that a great deal, because you, from a tactic point of view, you can see that your opponent has gotten a forge, he's gotten 2 pylons quite quickly, and a cannon, and is obviously going to expand. And then from the perspective of the Terran player, you've got to think, what is this guy going to have in terms of gas? Oh, he's going to have nothing, because he's spending all of his money getting this initial expansion up. So I'm not really sure what the point of this refinery was. You do lose a tiny bit of minerals from that if you even when you cancel. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I hope they didn't change that. But he's going to hopefully we'll see this get cancelled there. Let's just see if he's actually watching. He's just at the moment sitting on his economy there, doing nicely, building up the SCVs, and I don't think he cancelled that. So, in essence, he actually lost everything there. That was quite a blunder there from Calvus. That was not needed to put the refinery there and do the gas steal, and it was obviously a bad decision to not cancel there. So Hobo has now got his economy up in regards to this natural expansion, which has gotten up quite quickly. Calvus should be aware that that natural is going to be up, and he generally, what you want to do from a Terran is you want to get out some a reactor here, as we can see, and perhaps actually just do quite an early marine push, trying to take advantage of the fact that your Protoss opponent will not have too much down here. They'll have some cannons, they may have a couple of zealots out by the time you early push, but if you leave it too long, there's around about a timing window at sort of around the 7 to 8 minute mark, where once you get to that point, it will actually be quite hard to get into your opponent's base unless you force quite a heavy Marine Marauder all in. But we'll see what happens there. Hobo's got a couple of zealots out, as I said. For Protoss users, if you're going to do this sort of build where you go for this very quick expansion with a forge to get some cannons up to supplement, what I like to do very much, I'm not sure about everyone else, but is send out a couple of zealots. Pretend that you're going to put on some pressure, because of the fact that you obviously cannot really do anything, because you've only got You don't have any stalkers at the initial point. Obviously, Hobo's going to have a couple in a second, but you want to sort of just put some inferred pressure on to try and make your opponent think twice before he expands himself, and to obviously perhaps make him waste some minerals on some military units when he doesn't actually need to. We've got the 2 gas up here from Hobo. We want to see some probes get into this second one down here. And of course we will have, I think he's got warp gate tech just about done. Yeah, he does indeed. So we're going to see the warp gates come in here. As I said, we're sort of just around the 8-minute mark, as you can see here on the rocket clock. And we'll probably see some gates go up. We'll either see a lot of gates go up, or we'll see perhaps some other sort of tech route. And in fact, we may see a different tech route, because a scan has gone down actually straight away on where this Stargate is. So great timing there from Calvus to actually scan this straight up. And he's going to be prepared for anything that might pop out there. We may see some Phoenix Harass, or perhaps a Void Ray. But we do have a Thor here, so there's definitely no way a Void Ray is going to be able to do anything just for the time being. And what we are going to see, where's this SCV going? I think he's going to the watchtower. Either way, good to control the watchtowers on this map for the newer players. It is great to make sure you are holding the towers, because as we can see here, the towers actually give you a massive range of vision. And if you can actually cover both of the towers, you can see the 2 main ground routes through the map. So if you can watch what's happening there, it is actually a great little bonus there to your play. So as I said, we've actually, instead of this the Stargate, any sort of Stargate play here from Hobo, he's actually switched into gates. Obviously a little bit later than the normal timing, but that's of course I think because he was going to go for the some sort of Stargate play. He's now got a total of, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 5 gates are up. We'll probably see these couple just morph into warp gates in just a second, and we'll see quite a large amount of units start popping out from Hobo. So we do definitely want to see that as well, because he's currently sitting on 1,300 minerals, so we want to get that down as soon as possible. Looks as if he will be doing that. Probably a lot of Zealots will pop out in just a second. No, we got some Stalkers. So either way, useful units. We've also got the +1 weapons from Hobo on the way as well. We need to see some more chrono being used here. Both of these Nexus are quite high on their chrono, so you want to see that utilized either on the Forge or perhaps on the warp gates to get them to use up their cooldown on warping in units a bit quicker. But I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. Let's just have a quick look at what Calvus is doing. He's got a lot of Thors here. We've got some SCVs just at the back to repair the Thors with these fancy Thors with their little wings and that sort of thing, because he's got Collector's Edition, obviously. And so we've got very heavy, very decent anti-air force there, of course, in the Marines and the Marauders. We've got him taking the natural down here with a Planetary Fortress. That is not going to go down anytime quick. And there we go. There's the chrono on the warp gates there. He's going to get that out, get some more units flowing through them quite quickly soon. Still some more chrono left on this Nexus, but we'll see what happens. And Calvus looks to be just like he's comfortable with his position. He's got 3 Thors out and a whole bunch of Marines. We've got a total of 13 Marines here with the 3 Thors. And he's comfortable with his position, and it looks as if he's going to go try and grab a 3rd expansion as well. So we'll see what happens. Both the players are sort of just in a stagnant position just at the moment, given that Hobo needs to get out a few more pylons. As we can see here, he is supply blocked just at the moment, and he's got another gate on the way. We'll probably see a few more gates on the way, hopefully. But what he is also doing is also going for this this expansion as well. So he's taken this 5 o'clock expansion now, and Calvus is of course going to take this one up here at the sort of 10, 11 o'clock position. So where do we go from here? We want to see either some sort of play with these Stalkers. He's getting a huge amount of Stalkers at the moment. He's currently got 23 Stalkers on the map. They do have +1, and there will be +1 for armor on the way as well. So they're doing their 15 damage to armored. Of course, the Thors are armored, so they'll take that little bit of extra damage there. The problem for Hobo is these SCVs that are here to sort of supplement the Thors by repairing them. So In fact, whoa, I just lost the mouse there. Calvus is actually going to take this gold expansion, so this will be quite interesting. If he can hold the gold expansion, he will actually be able just to totally out macro Hobo from his position at the moment, because he's still just getting this base up here, and he's going to transfer a lot of probes. That is a whole heap of probes that are transferring over, but it's good to transfer, of course. For those of you, once again, if you're sort of starting up your StarCraft playing career, when you do make an expansion, it is great. Probably the most efficient way to get it up and running is to transfer some probes that you have at your already built expansions. What this does is it gets these expansions utilized, and their minerals will also go down a little bit quicker, which is good if you're trying to time when you need to get an expansion. As you can see here, these minerals we're getting to the sort of mid stage of where these minerals are at, and of course the main is sort of in the same position. So it's good to actually, if you can try and keep a timing on when your bases are all going to expire with their minerals, it's great to have that there as well. We've got these stalkers here. We've got a total of 31 stalkers now. I think there's a few just sitting in the base to defend. Yeah, there are. And it looks as if Hobo has now actually spotted this gold expansion. He's going to need to move in there. It is a planetary fortress though, and all the Thors are here as well, so this will be a very tough nut to crack for Hobo. He's going to give it a shot anyway. Takes down one of the Thors. He does actually get it. We're going to see a bit of a big battle here. This is not really a good position at all for Hobo, so what he's going to do is actually take advantage of the fact that the Thors are of course a very, very slow unit, and they are very hard to mobilize efficiently. And it looks as if Hobo's going to blink on top of this planetary fortress. There are just a whole heap of SCVs repairing, though. He does still take it down. The Thors come in from the back. The Thors is going to make an absolute meal of these Stalkers, though. This is the one problem with the units that Hobo is using. The Marines with their high DPS are going to inflict a lot of damage on the Stalkers, and indeed they do. And of course the Thors as well do a huge amount of damage there. They do 33 damage in total, and of course the Stalkers only have 80 health and 80 shields, so they will get mowed up there by all of those units. And the one thing I do have to say though, is that adversely to game one, where we saw Hobo making his attacks and sort of losing out in his economy, he is still in a great position from an economical point of view, because Calvus only has this gold and only has his main, which is getting quite low here, especially given that it's only got a few SCVs there. Hobo is still sitting up here at 1,500 minerals to 1,000 from Calvus. Now, let's just have a look at this attack here. We've got some, the Marine and Thor push is coming in from the top here. This is not a good position for Hobocrunch. He needs to get these Stalkers across there. Not really sure. There we go. They are moving now, and he's going to warp in some more while we're there. They do come across here. We'll probably see a blink in on top of the Thors as well, just as we did see before. He's going to move in here. We've got some Stalkers sort of stuck behind. That's one thing you do need to be very careful of when you're using Stalkers, is that they block every single other unit. So you have to make sure you're sort of microing them quite well. And Hobo's done a great job here, pushing in, taking out every single unit that was here. So that was actually not a good attack by Calvus there. He lost a lot of units, lost a lot of his forces, and in fact, as we can see here on the resource table, despite that, he's still sort of just in the lead in terms of units lost. Hobo has actually lost a lot of Stalkers, of course, and they do cost quite a bit. So we've got another push coming in here from Hobo. Who's going to try and have another shot at this planetary fortress. If you're going to attack into a planetary fortress like this, you want to, number one, either try and do, there it is, I was going to say, you need to try and get on top of it so that the SCVs cannot sit there and repair it. But it looks as if he's done a great job blinking on top there. There are still so many SCVs actually repairing this, though. He's not going to get it, and some Marines come in here to